rewriting the rules. Welcome to the Game Changers Talk Show. It's RUKE and several other characters, sometimes called friends, are gonna take you on an epic adventure of business insights and office mischief. Play along as we win the game of business. Let's play.
All right, so this is going to wrap up our conversation that was so great yesterday. Where is Christine, by the way? About robots. So we started out 2 days ago. Robots are destroying your marketing, and I love it because the human approach that we take stands out drastically. It's amazing. Yes, these robots are destroying your sales because when AI robot starts doing the chats, we hate that. So when we come in, I love it because when we come in with our very authentic, telling them what we find interesting about them, all that kind of stuff, it's so superhuman. They're like, oh, I love you. You get this down and it's amazing. And today I'm saying robots are destroying your scalability. The reason why I'm saying robots destroy your scalability, when I pick on robots, I am talking about the artificial intelligence, the stuff that's smart but it's not smart, is that we a lot of times throw AI out of ignorance to something that you don't want to handle. So let me tell you how this is a contradictory feeling statement, but it's not. But if you're looking to scale, you hire your genius. And you're like, oh, what? Because most people who are trying to sell you a service, you should hire what you suck at. That's not true. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. You hire your genius. The reason why you hire a genius is because you can look under the hood and see if it's going wrong, and with a little bit of mind share, you can fix it. You can see what's right, what's wrong, where it's headed, because you know it. It's your genius. Therefore, your mind share, because I can show you how to buy time, I can show you how to buy money. Mind share, you can only think and compute about so much stuff before you're weary. That's what's most precious as a business owner. So when you hire your genius, you spend a little time because you know how to fix it if you need to. When you hire stuff that you're ignorant of, that's when you get screwed. You don't even have common language. So what I say is hire your genius and then focus on something that you need to fix, but learn the common language. That's the other great lie of entrepreneurs. You don't need to master everything, no. But you do need to be cognizant of everything. So you spend some time doing it, you get a common language, you now know what's going on. Great, now I can hire for that. Make sense? There was a time in my life that I was taking for about $500,000, which would crush anybody. It was crazy when I looked at that. And I said, you know what? This sucks. And that was within 12 months. I said, no, this sucks. I obviously don't know how to handle the finances. I had a CFO at the time. And I got rid of him. And I said, you know what? Before I hire someone else, I better know this stuff. So, we were not a small company. I think I had 16, I'm going to say employees because they're basically employees at the time. I didn't know what team members were. I had that old structure of thinking. And I did first of all, I love doing the invoices because that's revenue. So I've always had my hands in that. But I did all the payables, oh my gosh, and reconciliation, oh my gosh. And I did it for about 30 days plus, right? And I said, okay, now I know what I want as the spreadsheets. I know what my personal KPIs to understand where my business is going, all this kind of stuff. And so now I also know how to hire. And that's when I hired. And I've not had those issues since. So I share that with you is that, come on, I'm an artist. Who's telling you that I had to run the business side? It's so hard. And I love my spreadsheets. I'm going to tell you that. That's weird. I'm a creative who loves the spreadsheets because I know where I am. I know my trajectory, and I love that kind of stuff. And now my spreadsheets take about 10 minutes. And by the way, I got a ton of custom spreadsheets. Paul is amazing like that. So I spend 10 minutes at the beginning of the week, every week, religiously, and I love it. So when you're scaling, a lot of times we like to throw something that we're ignorant, don't want to do, we hate, a solution at. And the problem with that is, especially when you're using AI and all this great stuff, is it's going to do things for you and you're not going to recognize nor look deep enough, and it's going to create problems for you because you're not cognizant of it. So when you're looking at scaling your business, yes, hire your genius. I would also say, hey, what is repetitive that you understand, that you have really great comprehension of? Then how to automate that with AI, I think that's a great conversation. But there's so many people that have sold you, others, that the AI that this AI solution will solve all your problems. And then what happens is you get overwhelmed or you get so inspired. I have all these places to apply it. Where do I go next and all this stuff? And now I'm off target because I'm about to build all these kind of crazy cool stuff. And unless you're an incredible, detailed task manager, it hurts. What say you? How do y'all feel?
Well, I say you
I
nailed it for me because I'm really bad at bookkeeping and all of that stuff, but I'm learning painfully that I have to be more cognizant of
Yeah.
how it's done and aware. So as usual, you really pinpointed it for me. And you have to be aware of where your weaknesses are as well as you know what your strengths are.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm coming to really the realization through and with you. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, when you're talking about the finances, specifically finances as an entrepreneur, there's markers within your business that just a general person is not going to understand, right? Your P&L is not going to cover it. Like I mean, like for my spreadsheets, I have I get a custom dashboard every week in the beginning of the week, and it has all of its wonderful tabs. But I can scan out of it and I can say, okay, for the next 30 days, this is what the payables are week by week. This is what's going out, what's coming in. I have a cash flow projection, just a bunch of stuff. Here's what the credit cards are. This is what we paid last week. It's a lot of information, and especially when you're doing your projections. I get projections every week, so that's a lot of work to get done. But that's not a normal report that gives you that kind of stuff. And also, I do mine with comments. I receive them with comments, and then a summary assessment. Paul is great like that. Now to get all the backup, because I actually had someone say, "Well, why do you need all the backup?" So like, this is before this became popular, but it was I trust but verify. So look, I trust you, but I still got to check it. I mean, Anyway, what the point of that is that I understand my business, that there are markers within my business that a normal person would understand that I need to keep tabs on. And that's why it's important to understand where you are with your cash flow, your finances, your billables, your collectibles, and all that kind of stuff. Not that you have to oversee it every day, but you need to understand when to look at to make sure you're going on the right trajectory. It's not reading a P&L statement. All right, someone else was saying, was it you, Susie? Robots destroying your scalability.
I'm right there with Joy. There are many places in my business where I have decided I don't want to, or I can't, which I no longer say I can't, and I've just handed it off to other people. And when they haven't done it right, it's been a total mess, and I haven't known where to pick it up. And what you're saying is so true. That's been me till now. Just throw it out, let somebody else do it. And you're actually giving the power of your business away, and you end up giving your brand and everything away, and you put everything at risk.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm slowly learning some of those things, so I have a basic knowledge that I can at least check up and follow that they're doing what I want them to do. So I love that.
Yeah. My actual first hire was another artist, which blew a lot of people's minds. Like, why would you hire an artist? It's your style. It's all. I was like, first of all, my attitude was, it can't be my style, right? It can't be me. This business can't be based on me, or I'm in a lot of trouble. And so I hired an artist because I knew it's the best. And that's when then I started working on the marketing and all the other good stuff. So many years ago. When you look at hiring, and I'm going to change the language a little bit to duplicate, scale, amplify, or hire. Automate, that's another good word. Your genius, it's easier. And the biggest challenge I say that AI's ruin your scalability is you're scaling things that you don't know the details of. And to your point. So I would say hire your genius and scale or automate your genius, because that's perfect. And then go deeper in other areas. The important areas of your business. Yeah. Penny, you want to say something?
Yeah, so I realized that I'm really good at HR, but I'm not really great running a business. So I did hire a genius, you, Rook. And I have also realized from marketing, like even getting my website and everything out, that I had to outsource that because that is not where my strengths are. But it took me a little while to say, wow, I'm really good at what I know in HR, but I'm not really good at being a business person. And I just said this at the conference that I was just at, that
How'd it go, by the way?
I know my strengths.
Yeah, how'd it go, by the way?
Oh, the conference was really, really good. I was, it was a retreat,
Yeah.
never been to a retreat. And I was so even keeled for the entire time. And I made such connections. So it was really, really
And
good.
do you have people to follow up with the other stuff?
Yes, we all got each other's LinkedIns, right? Yes, we all got each other's LinkedIns. And my presentation that you looked over, remember? I couldn't show it because there was no visual. So I made myself little index cards. Made myself little index cards, and that's what kept me on track.
That's awesome. I can I can say that I've had I work with my equipment. I always bring my equipment. I always bring. Actually, I learned this from Bill Walsh, who's a big speaker guy. He's like, Rick, you got to bring your own speakers. You can't rely on them. I was like, why are you bringing? He said, dude, you got to. Number one, bring your own stuff, your own cables, whole nine. I'm like, all right, and I always did, and I'm glad I have. But there was one time where I was doing a keynote speak in the ballroom, and they unplugged my Mac on accident, lost power. Right. And I said, well, at least I'm glad I know my my presentation. And then this also kind of happened in New York. The clicker, I got dyslexic on the clicker. Well, like that's why I use my one sheet. So I just talk about one sheet. So good for you. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you got great follow up for the next thing we're launching, right?
Right. Well, they were all somewhat in the same business as me, but I am the only one in New York.
There we go. All right, that's cool. So I would also, I want to say this because I think Susie wanted to say something, but I did want to say this as well. One of the things that's important as we're growing as entrepreneurs is really, it goes on the mind share thing. And I purposely do this on my calendar. I block times, and there are days. There are days when I look at my finances and I don't look at them at the other days. Deep dive on the report. Speaking of finances, what's up, Liz? There's a days that I focus on sales. There are days that I focus on creating the next thing. So I do that. There's days that I go, look, all I'm going to do is hang out with clients, right? So I can put that hat on the day and expect it. The problem is when you're trying to juggle all that throughout the week. That's when you get fried. But if you know, all right, Monday spreadsheet money day, you can walk into it with the right energy expecting it. So and by the way, this is also why I say wake up early and work on your next thing, so that your passion is fueling you and you're on fire. You feel like you've accomplished something. So I work a lot in the early mornings on my next stuff, like our next big thing, Thrive for 25. Right, that is something that I just created this morning. I'm like, well, I did it in my dreams, purposely. Like, oh, that's a good idea. Went back to sleep. Let me work on that, and then I got up and executed on it. So, but now I'm like, hey, I'm ahead of schedule. Isn't that awesome? So block your time, all right? Understand and theme your days. Monday's money Mondays. That's when you do your billables, collections, all that great stuff. Blah blah blah. Your projections. You can be marketing Tuesdays and work on that, and then client Wednesdays, whatever that is for you. I want you to at least have themes for your day so that you can know what hat you have to wear walking in, so you have the right energy. All right, I'm going to be very transparent because my girl Penny's here. So I had a challenge with BNI, playing in the BNI world at first, right? Everybody does a little bit because there's obviously a lot. I mean, our club's 100 people, right? It's not a small club, right? About 100. And so what I found myself was because a lot of people want to meet, but I'm just giving y'all a tip this and being transparent. One of the things that I did was, okay, when people want to meet just to meet, let's have those certain times, because I had it filled throughout my day. And so I'm sitting here in one attitude, ready? And then, oh, I got to change my attitude because it's this style meeting. And what I did, look, I'm in sales mode, right? Boom, 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 boom. And then here comes one of my friends in B&I. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I got to switch gears here. So what I did was I schedule B&I time like that when we're just like getting to know them, building rapport. I scheduled that for a certain day and certain times. And what I found was I showed up 100 times better during those meetings because I had the right hat on. Oh, cool. This is just going to be my connection, relaxed connection, talk about family, just kind of like I did this morning, right? It was amazing. And then I can put my other hat on. So that's important. That's important to theme your time so you know how you need to play the game for that day, that shift, whatever that is for you. Look at me being all transparent with Penny and everybody. It works out though. I now I'm going. I love it. It's amazing, right? I enjoy it so much more. Susie, you had a question about robots destroying our scalability.
That wasn't me, but I like the question.
Oh, I thought for some reason I thought you said something. I thought I heard your wonderful voice. You love the question. Do you have anything to say, or you want to pass the mic?
I'm just very curious. I have a very love-hate relationship with them. So I love so many things, but there is another side I worry about. So I do want to hear the answer to that.
I have a love-hate relationship with Apple right now because their new OS is slowing down the voice to text. And I got to tell you, I've had to restart my machine to reset the memory, and that's crazy. And I do not have a slow machine. Yeah, Apple, they're listen, I'm not going to stop buying them, and I have them everywhere. You know, I have multiple ones, even in the studio, but still. That's my love and hate for that. And listen, I love AI, and there's a proper way to use AI. AI has been a great assistant in me scaling this company. Like I said, just proofing, editing, research, all that kind of stuff. And for someone who's I would say is a weakness, but is a gift to my creativity. My weakness is words. Me and words don't like each other at all. At all. Somehow I'm able to use them well. So it's a good thing. Who else has got a thought on AI destroying your scalability? But we love it because we know how to handle it.
I think you have to embrace it. I think you have to use it for what it can do for you, but not let it take over your whole business and your own personal thoughts.
I love that. So one of the things that, when people say you have to adapt to it or you're not, if you don't adapt to it, you'll be outpaced or whatnot. If you don't utilize it, integrate in some way, you're going to be left behind. First of all, I don't believe that's true. Very rarely does technology actually do that. Plus, where AI is going, it's working so much in the background that's just not going to be face forward anyway, and who cares? So therefore, it's going to be done for you. You know what I mean? And there's companies that help you with it. So I never believe that harsh of it. But I do believe, in the spirit of what you're saying, is the question how? This is what I'm doing. How can it help me? How can it assist me? I believe very firmly that sometimes the answer is it can't. So I give that to people to permission to go, okay, it can't. Meaning it's not going to do it the same quality that you need. Meaning it's not going to be able to be the way you need it to be done. And you're now compromising your quality, right, for something for quick and easier. Yeah, and I think that's that. A lot of people are doing that. Well, listen, I'm picking back on the sales things. I mean, the sales robot AI stuff is just so obvious it's not even funny. I think you're sacrificing your brand. I mean, Bill said it best. There's pros and cons. But if you're going, well, RUKE, I just have 1 million followers. I don't, I don't know how to keep up. Well, okay, there's other ways to do it, but you get my point there. Yeah. Cool. Anybody have any final thoughts on robots? We got this covered, right? Oh, right before we unplug the robot, talk to us, Steve.
I like them.
Yeah. Why?
Just in general, I think you have to. They're going to be running the world soon, so
Running the world.
I think it's better to make friends.
You know, my wife really like hears me use chat. She goes, "They're coming after you first." I'm like, "But my robot's going to beat yours robots." So I mean, in the spirit of dude, I have robots. I've had robots all my life. I mean, like real robots. One of the things, it's funny because they put out technology and then they pull it back, right? But do you ever remember the Sony Aibo? Anybody remember the Sony Aibo? Oh, y'all have to see this. Hold on. I'll show you something great. Okay, Steve, you got to banter a little bit more.
Oh man. See, if I was a computer, I'd be able to. Let me put this into chat and see what it comes back with.
Oh.
No, I got something really crazy. I just thought about it. What the heck? Hold on. All right, so let me see if I can find my boy here. So Sony made a robot in several things, and it's not really around. Hold on, it's not really around anymore. And if it is, I don't know about it. And this is okay. This is so bad. I'm downloading it real quick. So give me 1 second, and I will introduce you to my favorite robot. By the way, Elon releases releases a Tesla robot. Steve, I'm first in line. So just let you know that just so that we are straight on that. I'm going to show you.
Just don't do his moth trip. He already said the first couple people are going to die. So don't go buy in on that one.
All right. So, what? Wait a minute. Did he really say that?
At least until you taught us all you know, then you can go to Mars.
I was like, I don't. That's funny. I'm surprised he would say something like that.
He said, yeah, well, the first couple will die.
Hold on. All right. So this is crazy. Look at y'all making me do some blasts from the past. All right. So check this out. This is Blue.
Oh, I remember him.
Okay. So Blue is a dog. This photo was taken in 2005. So do the math on that when I had this. Blue has cameras, sounds, microphones. You petted him. He lit up. He walked around. He'd sit on his charger all by himself. Blue is amazing. He'll recognize your face. You're talking 2005. Recognize your face. Pick up his toys and play. And so what I did was I hooked up Blue to the internet. So you can log into our website and you can make Blue go around the office. Not the best camera, but you're talking about 2005. So Blue would come and people would visit and make Blue talk and see us and all that kind of fun. So there's my R2D2. Oh, it's so small you can't see us. But I don't even no idea what the pixel sizes are on this. But isn't that hilarious? There's me. There he's meeting R2. But yeah, that's kids. Oh, Victoria playing with Blue, petting him. So that was Blue. That's my baby girl, Victoria. Boop, boop, boop.
Aww.
So isn't that cool? 2005. I love robots, Steve. All right. That said, ladies and gentlemen, you're awesome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell.
Thanks for playing. Got something to say? Reach out at play@GameChangersTalkShow.com. What you've just heard are the opinions, ramblings, and maybe a dash of wisdom from our hosts and guests. Any resemblance to real persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental and frankly pretty impressive. Always remember, we might be entertaining, but we're not always right. Till next time, game on.